Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for our Thursday night football showdown slate on Draftkings between the Los Angeles Rams and the New Orleans Saints. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for your Thursday night football showdown slate on DraftKings between the Saints and the Rams. So right now we are on the homepage of the YouTube channel. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetShetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon, which we're going to speak about very, very soon. But on the homepage, we are at 1.51 thousand subscribers. We continue to go forward and climb the ladder, all right? The goal now is going to be 2,000 subscribers. Let's get there. Hopefully, by the playoff time of NFL, let's continue to jump those numbers up. If you're currently a subscriber, go ahead and like, comment if you could please. And if you're not a subscriber, why don't you just click that subscribe button right now? Everything you guys do is going to help that YouTube algorithm and reach these videos out to more of a bigger audience. So I appreciate you guys so much. Continue to bring that love. All right, now on to the Patreon. We had a very solid night yet again on our NBA plays. As you can see, Timberwolves did not come through, Nets did not come through, but we finished very strong. The Nuggets came out and won easily. The Hawks outright won, and they were underdogs. The Clippers outright won, and the Celtics were underdogs and they outright won against those Sacramento Kings. So sign up right now for the Patreon for winning plays. Okay, we're going to have NBA going on right now. We're gearing up for the NFL playoffs as well. I already have the NFL future in there, who I think is going to be in the Super Bowl. So if you want those selections, you got to sign up for that Patreon. That link is provided down below. On to our favorite part, and that will be the injury report. This is where we can get a little bit more cookie crumbs to lead us to the cookie jar here. For the New Orleans Saints side, we have guys like Isaiah Foskey out on the defensive end. Lonnie Johnson, cornerback, he's out. Ryan Ramczyk, that's going to be a big out right there. The right tackle for the Saints, he's going to be out. And then Peyton Turner on that defensive side of the ball is going to be out as well for this Thursday night football game. The key component here was Chris Olave. Chris Olave will play, all right? So that is going to be double thumbs up for him and Derek Carr going up against this Rams defense that has been giving up some fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks and wide receivers. So that's going to be where we're going to be attacking. Los Angeles Rams side, Trey Tomlinson, he is out. Joe Noteboom, offensive guard, starting guard for the Rams. He's trending towards being out. He has the Q tag, but he missed 3 practices in a row. So that's going to be a wait and see thing to look for right before kickoff. They either going to let him go or they are going to sit him. All right. Everyone else for the Rams is going to be fine and healthy. The only key out would be Joe Noteboom, and Rob Havenstein is going to be fine as well at offensive tackle. Let's get into the captains. For the captain's position, we're not going to start off at the top. My favorite play here at captain, we're going to save us some salary. We're not going with Kyron. We're not going with Kupp. We're not going with Kamara. We're not going with Stafford. We're not going with Puka Nacua. Damn sure not. I don't want to disrespect Derek Carr. We're not going with Derek Carr. We're going all the way down here, saving us about $4,000 in salary. My favorite play at captain will be Chris Olave. All right. Chris Olave has been on a heater ever since week 9. All right. We're talking about 16, 21, 21, 19, and had got in the end zone against Carolina there. That was a clear blowout. But this Saints team is on a mission right now, and Chris Olave has a perfect matchup going up against the Los Angeles Rams. Chris Olave is looking for that 1,000-yard season as well, and he could very much get that in this game. That's what we're going to be going with. And if you're looking for props, go for that. Definitely go for around 80 to 100 yards for Chris Olave in this game. If we're looking at fantasy points allowed to opposing wide receivers, you see the LA Rams right there, 25th overall, 23rd in the red zone, giving around 14 receptions, 180 yards, and 1.4 TDs per game, okay? This is where you want to attack, okay? If you're going against this Los Angeles Rams defense, they're pretty solid stopping the run. Derek Carr is going to have to get cooking in this game, all right? He has plenty of options here to throw to. It's not just with wide receivers where they are injured at with no Michael Thomas. They have plenty of tight ends where we're going to get and talk about them as well. But the number one option for this team is going to be their leader, Chris Olave. Love him as a captain for this slate. The next captain we're going to be considering will be Cooper Kupp. All right, Cooper Kupp has been looking like his old self. All right, struggled at the beginning of the season. Now getting more acclimated here between him and Puka Nacua, and he is just trending above Puka Nacua the past 3 weeks. As you can see, 3 games in a row with a touchdown, all right? He had 6 for 39 for a TD, 8 for 115, and 8 for 111, all right? This is a tougher matchup. I definitely want to stress that right now. If we're looking at fantasy points allowed to opposing wide receivers, the Saints are number 2 overall and 4th in the red zone, okay? So this is a bend don't break defense, and they definitely do not allow touchdowns, but this is a guy that's going to get a lot of volume, all right? So Cooper Kupp is going to be a fine play for you to consider. Hopefully he can edge his way into that end zone because he is so dynamic, and they have a very good connection between Stafford and Kupp. So you could expect Cooper Kupp just to get in that end zone, and he's going to see 8 to 9 to 10 targets. That's what you want, and he has very big upside as well because of his talent. But the matchup is going to be a ugly one against this Saints team, okay? The next guy we can look at captain, okay, will be Kyren Williams, all right? This man has come out of nowhere, and he's finally healthy, and he's putting on a show, all right? Last week, 152 yards rushing, 1 TD, also chipped in with 5 receptions for 7 targets, all right? He lost 2 fumbles, but that's not usually his deal, okay? He usually is a very efficient, and secure running back holding that rock, okay? And going up against this team, yes, the Saints, fantasy points allowed to opposing running backs. This is another ugly spot here. The Saints, overall, let's look for the Saints right here. They're 21st overall, but 7th in the red zone. They're actually giving up 121 yards rushing. So that's going to be where they can create some offense here and create some mismatches. If they can get this run game going, hopefully Note Boom is healthy on that offensive line. That's going to be a plus. But that's where they can have some success. Running the football here, Kyren Williams is going to have to be the bell cow. And they're allowing 4.3 yards to carry. That's fine. This is a guy that they won't stop running the football with him. As you can see, 27 attempts against Washington, 25 against Baltimore, and 21 against Cleveland. 2 out of those 3 matchups are very ugly, and he still performed very well. 17 and 30 against Baltimore and Cleveland. So Kyren Williams, I'm going to put him higher than Cooper Kupp. So my 2 favorite captain plays right now so far is going to be Chris Olave and Kyren Williams, all right? For people who say I just picked the top guys, I'm going with matchups, okay? You can go back to the previous video I posted about the guy that's questioning how I break down the game. I'm going step by step if you don't understand. Injury report, and we find weaknesses. And from there, that's how you build on lineups. It's just common sense, okay? However you think you build a lineup, this is how I build a lineup. And if you can go back and look at the videos, the trends are very, very good. I'm leaning you guys in the correct direction, all right? You think I know the future? No, we have to go by stats and go off how guys have been playing previously. It's just, come on. Now, next, after Kyren Williams, the next guy we can consider at that captain position will be Alvin Kamara, okay? Alvin Kamara is going to be the bell cow here for the Saints, rushing that football. And look at the touches, all right? Opportunities equal points. This is where I'm leading you guys, okay? We want guys that's going to see 10 to 15 to even 20 touches. These are all opportunities to receive points, okay? So Alvin Kamara has been sensational this season, not only rushing the football, also receiving the ball as well. He's getting around 20 touches per game. So love Alvin Kamara against this Rams defense that is very strong against the run. But the key factor about Alvin Kamara is him in the receiving game. It's like having a number one wide receiver, as you can see, 5, 8, 5, 7 targets a game. All right, so Alvin Kamara is definitely someone we can consider at a captain spot. All right. Now, some of the cheaper options at captain, we're going to stay away from both quarterbacks. Matt Stafford and Derek Carr are going to be more of a flex play. Puka Nacua will be bumped down to a flex play as well, letting you guys know right off the bat. So the cheap guy will want to consider, and this is a sleeper pick right here. First sleeper pick at the captain spot will be Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee is very cheap. You can go with this guy right here because the weakness of this New Orleans Saints, other than a little bit of that running back position, it's the tight end position as well. We're looking at the past the past 5 games here with the New Orleans Saints against opposing tight ends, 26th overall and 12th in the red zone. All right, the key component here, they're allowing 8 receptions and 87 yards. I think that's the highest out of all teams. If we want to adjust that, yes. The New Orleans Saints are allowing the most yards to opposing tight ends. This is the reason why we like Tyler Higbee in this lineup build, all right? That's a sleeper for you guys, okay? All right, Tyler Higbee at captain. Love him as a very cheaper option. And then you can go and fill in everyone else if you have Tyler Higbee as a captain, all right? Save some salary there. All right. And I have one more sleeper at that captain position. That's going to be Rashid Shaheed. Okay. Rashid Shaheed can take the top off of any defense. He's had some big games this year. Earlier this season against the Colts, 27.3. Earlier this season against Houston, 18.3. And then week 1 against Tennessee, 20 fantasy points. Okay. That's the kind of speed Rashid Shaheed possesses. He could take one catch, take it all the way to the house. And that's, hey, you got to roll the dice sometimes. If you want to go this route here, save some salary with a guy that's very, very explosive, Rashid Shaheed can be your guy to set yourself apart from everyone else, especially at that captain position. I guarantee you he's going to be under 5% owned at that captain spot, just like Tyler Higbee. Rashid Shaheed and Tyler Higbee are going to be sleepers at that captain spot, all right? So those are going to be our captains. Let's go on to our flex plays. All right, now for the flex options here, I already gave you a few already. Stafford and Derek Carr are going to be flex plays. The guy that has the better matchup will be Derek Carr. All right, Derek Carr has the better matchup over Matt Stafford here going against the LA Rams defense. All right, let's look at fantasy points allowed to opposing quarterbacks. Right now, the Rams have been struggling a little bit. 25 overall, 20th in the red zone. They've been giving up around 260 yards passing and 2 TDs per game, okay? So you can kind of just bank in 250 and 2 TDs for Derek Carr. That's a prop right there if you want to throw it out there as well. Derek Carr, 250, 2 TDs. He has the better matchup here going up against this Rams defense here. So Derek Carr in a very good spot over Matt Stafford. Now, for kickers and defenses, that's the tough one. Kickers, you can play both kickers, okay? Group A was the number 1 overall kicker earlier this season, and as of late, they've been just blowing out teams and scoring touchdowns. They haven't really been kicking field goals the past 3 weeks, but as you can see earlier in the season, he was getting 10, 14, 11, 19 in week 12. So he was having some big performances that led him to be the number 1 kicker. But as of late, they've been scoring a lot of touchdowns and just getting extra points. As you can see, 4 extra points, 4 extra points, 3 extra points. So they've been more efficient as an offense. So this is a turning point for this New Orleans Saints team. Right before the playoffs, they're scoring more touchdowns and finishing drives with 7 points instead of 3. So that just breaking that down, we can bump down Group A just a little bit because I do like Derek Carr scoring touchdowns in this game. Havrisik, on the other hand, he's been shaky. All right, I'm breaking this down for you perfectly. All right, so the week 13 and week 14, this is when Lucas was fighting for his kicker job against Mason Crosby. All right, Mason Crosby was cut before the Washington game. And then this is when Lucas Havrasik misses a field goal. That's why he has 66.7 field goal percentage. So he's in a position where he has to make these field goals, or they will just go back and go get Mason Crosby again. They are fighting for their playoff lives, and they don't need a shaky kicker who he was very horrible weeks prior. This is the reason why they went towards Mason Crosby. So you can consider Lucas Havrasik. The heat is on him. All right, he's in a very big hot chair. He has to make field goals. And this is a team that's going to probably lean towards field goals anyway. The Saints defense is very strong, and they're going to be leaning more to field goals. So I'll have Lucas Havrasik over Group A if you're going with kickers. Just letting you guys know right now, okay? So some other flex options we're going to be going towards. We're not going to play any defense, all right? Defenses are out the window, and if I had to choose one, it would be the Saints anyway, okay? All right, Saints defense over Rams defense. Now, the sleeper flex plays. Number one will be Demarcus Robinson. Demarcus Robinson has been emerging as a number 3 wide receiver for this Rams team as of late. Look at the past 3 weeks. 3 games in a row with a touchdown and 3 games in a row with over double-digit fantasy points. So Demarcus Robinson will be a flex play in our lineup builds for tonight. All right, some of the other guys we can consider. Now with the Saints, they have a rotation of tight ends that all get fed. They don't even use their number 2 wide receivers, all right? They use all these tight ends. Number 1 will be Juwan Johnson here at that tight end position. He has been struggling on and off this season, but last week he finally got in that end zone. 2 for 38 and a touchdown. They use Juwan Johnson. Not only they use him, they also use Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is at $6,000 and $600 in salary. He's a dual threat guy at the tight end position. He can receive, he can rush the football. As you can see, he's at 13 carries in week 13, 7 in week 12, 11 in week 9. So you see upside here in Taysom Hill. They also have him throwing the football as well. So Taysom Hill is a dual threat guy that they can use. He's a Swiss Army knife, as you would say. Love Taysom Hill. If you're going to punt at that flex play spot, you can go towards him. All right. And then number 3, the third tight end that these Saints use is Jimmy Graham. All right. Now this is a sleeper. All right. Jimmy Graham quietly has had 3 touchdowns in 3 games. Okay. Look at this, 7.6, 9.6, 8.9. At that salary of $1,600, someone that can get you right there around 10 fantasy points, that is an absolute steal. All right, that's the cheapest we're going to go. Jimmy Graham at $1,600 is a perfect play, all right, at sleeper. So Jimmy Graham is our final flex option on that Saints side. That's the cheapest we'll go. Some of the other guys you can consider. Let's see if we have anyone else. Pass Higbee, pass the kickers. We're going with Freeman. No, that's the cheapest we're going. And there's a whole bunch of plethora of guys here at wide receiver, but that's the cheapest we'll go. All right. Demarcus Robinson, Taysom Hill, and Juwan Johnson, Jimmy Graham. Those are going to be the flex options for our lineup build. And we're saving salary here, especially with Jimmy Graham. All right. Now, the locks to have in each and every one of our lineups. Okay. The first one will be Chris Olave. I need to have Chris Olave in every one of my lineups. He is an absolute lock. The number 2 guy will be Kyren Williams. Okay. Kyren Williams is pretty much the guy. If they want to move the football, they're going to need to run against this Saints defense. And that's been the weak's point the past 5 weeks, giving up 121 yards rushing to opposing running backs. That's where we can go with Kyren Williams. And then our last lock to have in each and every one of our lineups is going to be Tyler Higbee. Okay. Tyler Higbee will be our next option because of the weakness of the Saints. Will be at that tight end position. He has some upside. He came back from his injury, got 4 catches, 36 yards. He's had some big games against Arizona. He had 2 touchdowns in that one. So you see some upside with Tyler Higbee there. If you don't feel comfortable with Tyler Higbee as a lock, then the other guy I would consider will be Alvin Kamara, just because off of volume. All right, straight off of volume, Kamara is going to see around 20 touches. Okay, so love Alvin Kamara in this lineup build. So those are our locks. I gave you a full breakdown of this Thursday night slate. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back with another video very soon. All right, peace out.